the galaxy had always known balance. For centuries, powerful alien empires ruled countless systems, and Earth was barely a whisper in the cosmic storm. But that balance shattered the moment the first reports arrived. Strange fleets, faster than any recorded ship, had appeared at the edges of known space. Entire colonies vanished in seconds, leaving only echoes of panic behind. Every council across the stars watched in fear, unable to act. They had weapons, armies, and plans, but nothing could stop what was coming. On Earth, the news was different. Ordinary humans went about their lives, unaware that their galaxy was trembling. Only a few knew. High-ranking officers at Earth Command monitored the situation with quiet, tense precision. Among them, Commander Lyra Vance paced in a dimly lit control room, eyes fixed on the holographic display of approaching fleets. The ships were massive, angular, and moving with eerie coordination. Yet, despite their fearsome appearance, something about them seemed cautious. "This doesn't make sense," Lyra muttered. "They're not attacking in the usual patterns. They're scanning, probing, but not committing." Her deputy, Captain Ryan Holt, leaned over the console, frowning. "It's like they know we're waiting for them. And yet, they're testing us." Lyra didn't respond immediately. She had spent years preparing for threats far smaller than this. She knew Earth's fleets were strong, but the reports from nearby systems were horrifying. Entire alien navies had been destroyed before even engaging properly. Yet here, these creatures hesitated, as if unsure about the humans they had heard rumors of for centuries. The tension in the room was thick, broken only by the hum of machinery and the occasional blip of incoming data. Suddenly, an alert flashed red across the central display. "Unknown signal detected," said a young officer, her voice trembling. "It's ancient. Thousands of cycles old. It's coming from the core ward sector, straight toward the front lines." The room went silent. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Ancient? How ancient?" The officer hesitated. We don't know exactly. The patterns suggest something Earth-built, but from long before recorded history." Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. Earth had never sent ships that far into space until the past century. Something hidden, something powerful, was waking. Without a word, she turned to the communications officer. "Send a silent transmission to Central Command. Alert only the special divisions. No alarms for the general population." As the message shot across subspace, the holographic display flickered, revealing an approaching object. At first, it was just a blip, a faint dot against the black sea of stars. Then, slowly, it grew. Its silhouette became clear, a ship unlike any contemporary design, angular and dark, yet humming with a strange, almost alive energy. Captain Holt swallowed hard. That can't be ours. No project we've ever had produced that." Lyra's voice was steady, but inside, she was racing through possibilities. "Prepare the special forces. Full readiness. I want every strike team on alert within 10 minutes. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien observers watched the same phenomenon with growing horror. Rumors of Earth's regulars had already spread, but the arrival of this mysterious vessel caused panic in councils and command bridges alike. Ancient myths whispered among the alien elites, stories of a ship lost for millennia, said to carry powers beyond comprehension. Now, it was real. Inside the ship, the crew was silent, trained for centuries in the art of destruction. Yet, something different filled their ranks: anticipation, a patient calm. The captain of the vessel, a human no one in the galaxy had seen before, stood at the bridge. His eyes scanned the stars ahead, calculating, waiting, knowing the moment had come. Back on Earth, the Special Forces teams mobilized. Ships roared to life, engines flaring with brilliant blue light as they lifted from hangars into the night sky. Soldiers strapped into their exosuits, checking weapons and shields, each one aware of the stories they had heard. Earth's regular forces were powerful, but the Special Forces were legendary, trained to face threats no one else could endure. Then the first alien scouts arrived. Small, fast ships darting through space, trying to measure humanity's defenses. The humans waited, silent, watching the readings spike. The tension was unbearable. One wrong move could mean annihilation. Suddenly, the scouts faltered. Systems overloaded, engines tearing themselves apart. Without warning, a beam of pure energy streaked across the void, destroying the lead ship in a brilliant flash. The rest hesitated. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans not just as defenders, but as predators in their own right. Lyra watched the feed from the command room, a grim smile touching her lips. "It begins," she said quietly. The mysterious ship continued its approach, dark and unstoppable. And from Earth's hidden hangars, the special forces readied themselves. The galaxy had never seen anything like this. And it had no idea what was coming next. Even the most powerful empires whispered to one another in fear, "Earth is waking. And this time, it's bringing the best it has." The galaxy waited, holding its breath. After the first scouts were destroyed, alien fleets began moving cautiously, their commanders unsure of Earth's strength. Across the stars, sensors tracked every human ship, trying to predict their next move. But humans did not play by predictable patterns. They adapted, struck, and vanished like shadows in the void. In Earth Command, Commander Lyra Vance studied the sensor readouts. Her Special Forces teams were already in position, their sleek ships weaving through asteroid fields, using the environment as cover. Every pilot knew their orders: observe, strike if necessary, and never underestimate the enemy. Captain Ryan Holt gripped the controls of his ship. "We're too exposed out here," he muttered. "Those alien cruisers can wipe us in seconds if they find us." Lyra's voice was calm, but firm. "Then don't let them find you. Move silently. Wait for the signal." The signal was coming from the mysterious ship that had emerged from the distant Core Ward sector. It was no ordinary vessel. Dark and massive, its hull seemed to absorb light, giving it a ghostly presence in space. No one had ever seen technology like this before, old, yet impossibly advanced. Something about it radiated power, enough to terrify even the most confident alien admirals. Back on the bridge of that ship, the captain, a human but unlike any other, watched the approaching fleets. His eyes were calm, calculating. He had a plan, one that could change the fate of the galaxy. Behind him, his crew prepared weapons and systems with meticulous precision. No word was spoken, no excitement stirred. Everything moved like a single, perfect organism. Suddenly, the alien scouts returned. Smaller than their main fleets, they darted around the human ships, scanning, probing, and testing defenses. But something unexpected happened. Their sensors began failing, systems overloading one by one. Explosions lit up space as ships were torn apart by invisible forces. Captain Holt's eyes widened. "What They're just stopping." A quiet alarm sounded in Earth Command. The mysterious ship was not just moving, it was scanning, targeting, and striking with terrifying accuracy. Humans watched as alien ships fell before them, powerless to fight back. It was not brute force, it was precision, intelligence beyond anything they had encountered. "Special teams, prepare for boarding operations," Lyra ordered. "We may need to take control of some of those ships before they alert the main fleet." On the human ships, soldiers readied themselves. Their suits glowed softly in the dim light of the bridges, weapons humming with energy. Every team member had trained for this moment for years, yet the tension was palpable. They had faced simulations, alien drones, and extreme conditions, but nothing like this. This was real. This was life or death. Meanwhile, alien commanders shouted across comms, trying to coordinate an attack. But their fleets were in disarray. Fear spread among the ranks as ships failed mysteriously, some exploding without warning. Panic was contagious, even veteran captains felt it claw at their resolve. In Earth Command, Lyra observed the situation unfold. Her eyes flicked between screens, tracking both the mysterious ship and her special forces. "The first phase is going according to plan," she said softly. "Now, we push. Orders were sent instantly. Teams moved with clockwork precision, boarding alien ships, capturing technology, and eliminating threats before reinforcements could arrive. The galaxy had never seen humans strike so efficiently. Every move was calculated, every decision deadly. Above the chaos, the mysterious ship continued its approach. Its presence was more than intimidating, it was a statement. Every alien observing it felt the weight of history pressing down. Legends spoke of humans who had mastered both war and cunning, but no one had believed it could be real. Until now. Captain Holt watched in awe as one of the boarding teams successfully captured an enemy cruiser. The ship's systems were quickly overridden, weapons turned against the remaining alien forces. "They're using their own ships against them," he whispered. "Yes," Lyra confirmed from Earth Command. "And this is only the beginning. Once the special forces are fully deployed, the galaxy will learn a lesson it has forgotten for centuries. Never underestimate humanity." Explosions lit up the void, alien ships destroyed in waves, fleeing toward their main fleets in panic. But the mysterious ship, silent and deadly, continued moving forward, leaving nothing to chance. Its captain's eyes never wavered. He knew the moment to reveal the full power of Earth's forces was coming. And when it did, the galaxy would tremble like never before. As the last of the scouting ships fell, Lyra finally allowed herself a small smile. The humans had survived the first strike. But the true test, the arrival of the alien main fleets, was yet to come. And when that day arrived, no corner of the galaxy would remain untouched. The first reports reached Earth Command in a rush of static and fear. Alien warships, hundreds strong, were moving toward the frontier systems at speeds no human ship had ever matched. Entire sectors that had been quiet for decades were now silent, their defenses destroyed before they could respond. Commander Lyra Vance stood in the central command room, eyes scanning the holographic display. The aliens' movement was precise, coordinated, and deadly, but Earth had a secret. Their special forces were already in position, hidden among asteroids, nebulae, and the shadows of dead stars. Captain Ryan Holt gripped the controls of his strike ship. "They're coming fast," he said, his voice tense. "Too many. We can't hold them all." Lyra's voice was calm but sharp. "We won't hold them. We will strike, and we will win. Trust the teams. Trust the plan." Across the battlefield of empty space, the mysterious ship from the Core Ward sector continued its silent glide. It had already eliminated dozens of scouts, and now it moved closer to the alien fleet. Its captain's eyes never wavered. Every move was precise, calculated centuries in advance. Suddenly, the alien fleet opened fire. Beams of energy tore across space, aiming for the hidden human ships. Explosions erupted in distant systems as some teams were forced into defensive maneuvers. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Alien fire was fast, accurate, and relentless. Holt swore under his breath. "They've got numbers, but we've got tactics." Lyra nodded, watching as the first strike teams launched coordinated attacks. Ships jumped from cover, striking weak points, and disappearing before the enemy could respond. Alien vessels that had never been challenged suddenly found themselves surrounded, systems failing one by one. The mysterious ship entered the battlefield, moving directly into the heart of the alien fleet. Its dark hull reflected no light, yet its presence seemed to freeze the enemy in fear. Alien commanders scrambled, trying to organize a defense, but their ships faltered. Shields overloaded, engines fried, and weapon systems erupted in sparks. On the human side, soldiers inside the Special Forces ships prepared for boarding operations. They dropped from orbiting carriers, using magnetized boots and grappling beams to attach to enemy cruisers. Within moments, they infiltrated the alien vessels, shutting down systems and turning the enemy's own weapons against them. Captain Holt's ship dodged a massive energy blast, the hull groaning under the pressure. "They're everywhere," he shouted. "This is insane." Lyra's voice cut through the comms, calm and commanding. "Focus. Hit the command centers first. Disable their coordination. The rest will follow." Explosions rocked the alien fleet as human teams carried out their orders. One by one, cruisers were disabled, fired upon by their own weapons, or forced to retreat. The first real battle of the war was raging, and humanity was proving it was no ordinary opponent. Above the chaos, the mysterious ship unleashed a pulse of energy that swept through a cluster of alien battleships. Engines failed, weapons erupted, and the fleet's formation collapsed. Alien admirals realized with horror that this was not a single ship. They were facing the combined force of Earth's regulars and the hidden power of the Special Forces. In Earth Command, Lyra's eyes remained fixed on the holographic display. She could see the panic spreading among the alien ranks. "Hold the line," she ordered. "Keep pushing forward. Don't let them regroup." Holt watched as one massive alien dreadnought turned to escape. The Special Forces had anticipated it. Interceptors blocked its path, while boarding teams attached magnetic tethers to its hull. Explosions tore through the dreadnought, and it disintegrated in a brilliant fireball. "Status report," Lyra demanded. "Alien fleet is fragmented," Holt replied. "Many ships destroyed, others fleeing. Special Forces intact. Boarding teams successful. We've won this phase." A quiet cheer rose among the humans, but Lyra did not celebrate. The battle had been won, yes, but this was only the beginning. The alien fleets were vast, their resources almost limitless. They would return, and Earth had to be ready. Meanwhile, the mysterious ship remained in the distance, silent, almost watching. Its captain's eyes scanned the wreckage. No words were spoken. The galaxy would soon learn the full measure of what humanity had hidden, and the legends would only grow. As the surviving alien ships retreated, Lyra knew the true war had just begun. Humanity had shown strength, skill, and cunning, but the galaxy was not yet safe. The next wave would be larger, smarter, and deadlier. And when it came, Earth's forces, including the mysterious ship, would have to rise again, stronger than ever. For now, the first victory was theirs, but the shadow of what was coming loomed large. The galaxy would tremble again, and when it did, humanity would be ready. The battlefield was quiet now. The alien fleet had retreated, leaving behind shattered ships and burning wrecks drifting through space. Human strike teams were collecting data from the wreckage, scanning alien technology, and rescuing their own who were lost during the fight. Commander Lyra Vance stood at the center of Earth Command, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. Red markers showed alien positions. Blue showed human fleets. And then there was a new color, dark purple, marking the strange ancient ship that had appeared from the Core Ward sector. It hovered silently at the edge of the battlefield, as if watching everything. Captain Ryan Holt walked up beside her, removing his gloves. He looked tired, but alert. "They pulled back faster than I expected," he said. "Almost like they were waiting for something." Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes. That wasn't their full force. It was a test. They wanted to see how we fight." "And we showed them," Holt replied. "We did," Lyra said, "but that also means they're planning something bigger. Something smarter." Far across the galaxy, in a dark system untouched by human eyes, the alien High Council gathered inside a massive ring station. Their ships surrounded the station like steel sentinels. Inside, the alien war leaders argued fiercely. "They were supposed to be weak," one of the admirals shouted. "Their fleets were small, their technology outdated. How did they do this?" Another slammed his claws against the table. "You saw it. That black ship. That ancient human vessel. It tore through our formations like nothing we've ever seen." The council leader, an old creature with pale, cracked skin, raised his hand and the room fell silent. "Enough. We underestimated them. That was our mistake. But we will not make it again." One of the scientists stepped forward, projecting a star map. "We have located something. A signal deep inside the rim. It is human. But it is not coming from Earth. It is coming from one of their forgotten outposts. A place they abandoned centuries ago." The council leader's eyes narrowed. "And what is there?" "A weapon," the scientist replied. One they left behind. A cold silence filled the chamber. Then the leader spoke, his voice sharp. Then we will take it before they do. Prepare the next wave. Double the fleet. And send the vanguard. Back at Earth Command, Lyra received disturbing reports. Alien fleets were regrouping on multiple fronts. Their movements were no longer scattered or confused, they were organized, focused, dangerous. And worst of all, they were heading toward an uninhabited star system known as Rat-Hose 9. Rat-Hose 9 had been abandoned centuries ago. Old records said it was once a human research outpost, but after a strange incident, the system was sealed off and forgotten. Why would they go there? Holt asked, frowning. Lyra stared at the star map. Because they found something. The mysterious black ship suddenly changed course. Without any communication, it began heading straight toward Rat-Hose 9. Alarms rang in Earth Command as officers tried to track its movements. They're moving, Holt said. They know something we don't. Lyra made her decision quickly. Send a priority message to the Special Forces. Mobilize the fleet. We're going after them. Within hours, ships roared to life, rising from hangars and launching into the dark void. Special Forces teams were deployed aboard fast cruisers, ready for anything. The mysterious ship moved ahead like a shadow, always faster, always one step in front. Days later, the human fleet arrived at Rat-Hose 9. The system was silent and dark. Broken satellites floated around a dead star, and the remains of the old outpost drifted in silence. But deep inside the system, strange energy readings pulsed, faint but growing. Captain Holt stared at the readings. That's not natural. Lyra's face was hard. No. That's a power source. And it's waking up. Before the humans could investigate further, alien ships dropped out of warp. Not scouts this time, an entire fleet. Massive dreadnoughts, cruisers, and fighters filled the system. The second wave had arrived. They beat us here, Holt said. Not exactly, Lyra replied. She pointed at the black ship. It was already in the center of the system, its hull glowing faintly as if communicating with something hidden in the darkness. The alien fleet began moving in, surrounding Rat-Hose 9. Human ships spread out, preparing for battle. Special Forces teams were deployed to the ruins of the outpost, searching for whatever the aliens were after. Then the first energy surge hit. The entire system shook. Ancient machines buried under Rat-Hose 9's surface activated, sending beams of light shooting into space. Every ship, human and alien, felt the shockwave. Holt grabbed the edge of his console. What was that? Lyra's eyes widened. Something down there just turned on. And in that moment, they all realized the truth. The fight wasn't just about fleets or power anymore. Rat-Hose 9 held something far more dangerous, something both sides were desperate to control. The silence over Rat-Hose 9 shattered in seconds. Alien dreadnoughts opened fire, their beams slicing through the darkness. Explosions lit up the dead system as human ships scattered, dodging the first wave of attacks. The battlefield turned into chaos almost instantly. Commander Lyra Vance stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship, her eyes fixed on the holographic map. Red markers, alien ships, were moving fast, surrounding the human fleet. Blue markers, her ships, were fighting back hard, but the enemy outnumbered them nearly 3-1. Focus fire on their lead cruisers, she ordered. Break their formation before they can box us in. Captain Ryan Holt was already in the middle of the fight. His strike ship darted between enemy lines, releasing quick bursts of plasma that struck engines and weapon systems with pinpoint accuracy. We can't hold them off forever, he shouted through the comm. They've got us pinned against the system's edge. Lyra's voice came back firm. Then we change the edge. Push inward. Toward the planet. Don't give them a stable formation to trap us. Human ships surged forward, diving toward Rat-Hose 9's barren surface. The alien fleet tried to adjust, but that gave the Special Forces teams a small opening. Down below, near the remains of the abandoned research outpost, Special Forces soldiers moved through dark, dusty corridors. The air was cold, the walls covered in strange marks and old human warnings. Their scanners picked up massive power spikes coming from underground. "This place is waking up," one soldier whispered. The team leader raised his hand. "Stay sharp. The aliens want something here. We find it first." Deep under the surface, machines that had slept for centuries were roaring back to life. The ground trembled as ancient doors slowly opened. Strange blue lights flickered in the darkness, revealing a huge underground chamber filled with massive structures. Back in orbit, the mysterious black ship had taken position near the planet. Its dark hull began to glow faintly, like a sleeping beast slowly stirring. Alien ships that tried to approach it were instantly destroyed by invisible pulses of energy. Holt saw the destruction on his sensors. That ship, it's not just observing anymore. It's protecting something down there. Lyra understood immediately. "The weapon," she said. "It's connected to that ship." Suddenly, the alien fleet changed tactics. Instead of focusing on the human ships, they began launching drop pods directly toward the planet's surface. Hundreds of them streaked through the atmosphere like falling stars. "They're heading for the outpost," Holt shouted. "Then so are we," Lyra replied. She turned to her communications officer. "Deploy reinforcements to the surface. Now. We can't let them reach that weapon first." Moments later, Special Forces transports cut through the chaos, racing toward the planet below. Alien pods slammed into the ground, releasing troops in heavy armor. The battle for Rat Hose 9 had begun. The underground chamber echoed with the sound of gunfire. Human Special Forces and alien soldiers clashed in the ruins, each side desperate to control the strange machines. Beams of energy streaked through the corridors, lighting up the darkness. A massive door at the end of the chamber began to open. A bright blue light spilled out, and a deep humming filled the air. Both sides stopped for a brief moment, staring at the impossible sight. Inside the chamber stood a colossal machine, taller than any building. It was shaped like a spear pointing toward the sky, its surface covered in alien-looking human symbols. Power surged through it, shaking the ground. One alien commander pointed at it and shouted, "Activate it! Take it before the humans do!" But before anyone could move, the mysterious ship in orbit responded. A pulse of energy rippled through the planet, knocking out alien communications and disabling many of their systems. The machine in the chamber reacted immediately, the humming grew louder, and its core started spinning. Holt's voice came through the comm. "Lyra, something's happening down there. That machine, it's powering up fast." Lyra clenched her fists. "Then we stop the aliens and take control of it ourselves." The battle intensified. Human forces pushed forward, using their training and speed to outmaneuver the aliens. But the enemy was relentless. They had more soldiers, more weapons, and they were willing to die to claim the weapon. Suddenly, part of the ceiling collapsed from an explosion, and alien reinforcements poured in. The Special Forces were pushed back, step by step. The machine's light grew brighter, its power building to dangerous levels. In orbit, the alien fleet made one last desperate push, charging toward the human ships to create a distraction. But the mysterious black ship moved like a predator, finally showing its fangs. Dark energy beams erupted from its hull, tearing through alien dreadnoughts like paper. Entire enemy formations vanished in seconds. Holt watched in stunned silence. What kind of ship is that?" No one had an answer. On the planet, human soldiers finally reached the control platform of the ancient weapon. As they activated their interface devices, strange holographic symbols appeared around them. The machine recognized them as human. It responded to their presence. The ground shook violently. The weapon was awake. Lyra's voice echoed through the comm network. "Hold your positions. No matter what happens, do not let the aliens take control." Above and below, the fight reached a fever pitch. The galaxy's future now hung on what happened inside that chamber on Rat Hose 9. The chamber under Rat-Hose 9 shook like a living creature waking from a deep sleep. Dust fell from the ceiling. The humming sound grew louder until it felt like the air itself was vibrating. Soldiers, both human and alien, stopped fighting for a brief moment, staring at the giant spear-shaped machine. Its surface was glowing with bright blue lines, pulsing like a heartbeat. Commander Lyra Vance watched the live feed from orbit. Her face was tense, eyes locked on the spinning core of the machine. "It's fully active," she whispered. "We're out of time." Captain Ryan Holt's team was on the ground, near the control platform. The weapon's power was rising fast, and the control systems were ancient and complex. Strange holographic symbols floated around them, rearranging constantly. Holt wiped sweat from his forehead. "This thing isn't responding to standard commands," he said. "It's like it's choosing who can control it." Special Forces soldiers covered him from all directions, firing at waves of alien troops trying to storm the chamber. The aliens were desperate now. They didn't just want the weapon, they needed it. Suddenly, a huge explosion shook the chamber. An alien dreadnought in orbit fired a massive energy beam into the planet, trying to destroy the weapon before humans could use it. The blast tore through layers of rock, collapsing parts of the structure. Soldiers were thrown to the ground. "Status report," Lyra shouted. "Still intact." Holt coughed through static. "The weapon, it shielded itself." On the holographic display, Lyra watched in disbelief as a glowing energy dome appeared around the weapon. It wasn't just protecting itself, it was adapting to attacks. Meanwhile, the mysterious black ship in orbit suddenly moved. For hours, it had hovered like a silent guardian. But now, its dark hull flared with deep blue light. It fired a single pulse at the alien dreadnought that attacked the planet. The dreadnought didn't just explode, it was ripped apart into glowing fragments, vanishing in seconds. The alien fleet panicked. Ships tried to pull back, but the black ship blocked their retreat like a wolf cornering prey. Its attacks were precise, merciless. Alien formations shattered as their commanders screamed orders that no one could follow. Back underground, Holt stared at the glowing control panel. "It's reacting to me," he muttered. "It's scanning my DNA. This thing is alive in some way." Before Lyra could respond, the entire system went dark for 3 seconds. No sound. No light. Just silence. Then the weapon's core exploded with brightness. A wave of energy burst from the planet's surface, racing outward at impossible speed. Every ship in the system, human and alien, was hit by the shockwave. "Brace for impact," someone shouted. The wave slammed into the fleets. Alien ships overloaded instantly, systems failing, shields collapsing. Many of them broke apart in fiery explosions. Human ships were shaken violently, but their systems adapted fast, protected by old but clever engineering. Lyra held onto the console as alarms screamed. "Report." Her officers scrambled. Multiple alien losses. 30% of their fleet destroyed in seconds. Holt's voice came through the comm. "Lyra, the weapon responded to me. It accepted human command. I think we just woke up something that belongs to us." Lyra's eyes widened. "Then control it before it destroys everything." But controlling the machine wasn't easy. Holt placed his hands on the glowing panel, and the symbols shifted rapidly. The weapon began to respond, its energy focusing into the spear's tip. In orbit, the mysterious black ship adjusted its position as if coordinating with the machine. The aliens realized what was happening. Their remaining ships rushed toward the planet in a last desperate attack. If they couldn't control the weapon, they would destroy it. "Here they come," an officer yelled. Lyra didn't hesitate. "All ships, form a wall around Rat-Hose 9. Protect the weapon at all costs." Human fleets repositioned, locking into defensive formations. Alien dreadnoughts charged, firing everything they had. Explosions filled the void. Dozens of ships on both sides were destroyed in minutes. The battle reached a terrifying intensity. Holt shouted over the noise in the chamber. I can't hold it steady much longer. This thing is too powerful. The weapon's tip glowed brighter than ever. A beam of pure, focused energy erupted from it, shooting straight into space. It pierced through the alien fleet like a spear through paper. Dreadnoughts exploded in blinding flashes. Entire enemy formations were erased in seconds. The galaxy had never seen power like this. On every alien ship that remained, fear spread like wildfire. Their commanders screamed for retreat. No one argued. The survivors jumped into warp space, vanishing as fast as their engines could take them. Silence slowly returned to Rat Hose 9. The weapon's light dimmed, though its power still hummed through the air. Holt collapsed to his knees, breathing heavily. It's under control. For now. Lyra exhaled slowly. You just turned the tide of the war. But as the mysterious black ship hovered silently above the planet, Lyra couldn't shake a cold feeling. The weapon wasn't fully understood. And if humanity had truly claimed it, the galaxy was about to change forever. The news spread across the galaxy faster than any fleet could travel. Within hours, every major world, station, and ship heard the same impossible message. The humans have activated the ancient weapon. The alien armada has been destroyed. Rat Hose 9 belongs to Earth now. In the halls of the Galactic Council, panic filled the air. Representatives of dozens of species argued and shouted over one another. Some demanded immediate war. Others whispered about surrender. A few simply stared in silence, knowing the balance of power had shifted forever. They were regular troops, one ambassador said shakily. Regular human forces, and they wiped out a grand armada. What happens when their special forces arrive? No one had an answer. Back on Rat Hose 9, the battlefield was quiet. Smoking wrecks of alien ships still burned in orbit. The ancient weapon stood silent once more, its glowing lines fading to a soft pulse like it was sleeping. Commander Lyra Vance stood on the surface, looking at the weapon. The wind blew across the battlefield, carrying the smell of scorched metal. Around her, soldiers were busy setting up defenses and landing zones. The humans had won, but everyone knew this wasn't the end. Captain Ryan Holt walked up beside her, his armor scorched from the fight. He looked tired but alive. We did it, he said quietly. Lyra nodded slowly. Yes. But this changes everything. They'll come again. They'll bring more fleets. Stronger ones. Holt glanced at the weapon. Then we'll be ready. Above them, the mysterious black ship hovered silently. For weeks, no one had understood its purpose. Now, after the battle, it finally moved closer to the surface. A deep vibration filled the air as a large hangar bay opened on its underside. What is it doing? Holt asked. Lyra narrowed her eyes. I think it's responding to the weapon. Like it's part of the same system. Moments later, a single human dropship rose from the planet and docked with the black ship. Holt was on board. He had been chosen to lead the small inspection team. Inside, the ship was dark and quiet. The corridors were smooth, black metal with glowing blue veins running along the walls. It looked advanced, but old. Too old to be human-built by modern standards. Holt and his team moved carefully. Keep your eyes open, he said. They reached a central chamber. In the middle stood a circular platform with strange symbols engraved on it. As Holt stepped forward, the platform lit up. A holographic projection appeared, an image of Earth, surrounded by hundreds of stars. Then the projection shifted, showing fleets, battles, and strange alien worlds burning. It's a record, one soldier whispered. A war record. But then the projection changed again. It showed something even more shocking. Human fleets fighting side by side with the black ships, conquering systems across the galaxy. The humans in the projection looked similar to them, but the style, the technology, the scale, it was from another age. This isn't alien, Holt breathed. This is human. This ship, it's from humanity's lost past. Back on the planet, Lyra received the report. Her heart pounded. If the black ship was truly from an ancient human empire, it meant Earth's history was incomplete. Something huge had been erased or forgotten. The Galactic Council tried to contact Earth through encrypted channels. Some offered alliances. Some threatened war. Others simply begged for information. But Earth's response was cold and clear. Rathose 9 and the weapon are under human protection. Any interference will be treated as an act of war. The galaxy trembled. 3 days later, an entire fleet appeared at the edge of the system. But this time, it wasn't alien. It was Earth's Special Forces Armada, sleek black warships with sharp, predatory designs. Their arrival made even Lyra's battle-hardened soldiers stare in awe. "This is it," Holt said as he stood on the command deck of the black ship, watching the new fleet arrive. "They've sent the real power now." The Special Forces Admiral appeared on the comm screen. His voice was calm but dangerous. "Commander Vance, Captain Holt. You've done well. Now step aside. The operation enters Phase 2. Phase 2? Lyra asked, confused. The Admiral didn't explain. Instead, the Special Forces ships surrounded the planet in tight formation. Drones swarmed out like a metallic storm, scanning the weapon and the black ship. Something massive was being prepared. Across the galaxy, enemy factions began to move their fleets. Old rivalries and secret plans started to surface. Everyone wanted the weapon, or feared it. The great powers were choosing sides. As night fell on Rathose 9, Holt stood alone near the ancient weapon, looking up at the stars. The wind was cold. He knew this was just the beginning. "We thought we won," he whispered. "But the real war is only starting." Above him, the black ship's lights flared once more, as if answering him. And somewhere, deep in the galaxy, ancient powers that had slept for millennia began to stir.